truth is the offspring of silence and meditation. You have to make the rules, not follow them. God created everything by number, weight, and measure. No great discovery was ever made without a bold guess. To myself, I am only a child playing on the beach while vast oceans of truth lie undiscovered before me. When two forces unite, their efficiency double. He who thinks half-heartedly will not believe in God, but he who really thinks has to believe in God. To me, there has never been a higher source of earthly honor or distinction than that connected with advances in science. Therefore, to the same natural effects we must, as far as possible, assign the same causes. Nature is very consonant and conformable with herself. Where both are friends, it is right to prefer truth. Impressed force is the action exerted on a body to change its state either of resting or of moving uniformly straight forward. I shall not mingle conjectures with certainties. The instinct of brutes and insects can be the effect of nothing else than the wisdom and skill of a powerful ever-living agent. Every body persists in a state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless it is compelled to change that state by forces having impact upon it. I see I have made myself a slave to philosophy. It is the weight, not numbers of experiments that is to be regarded. When the adversaries of Erasmus had got the Trinity into his edition, they threw by their manuscript as an old almanac out of date. If I have seen a little further, it is because of the height limit and absence of overhead wires. The description of right lines and circles, upon which geometry is founded, belongs to mechanics. Geometry does not teach us to draw these lines, but requires them to be drawn. I feign no hypotheses. All the characters of the Passion agree to the year 34, and that is the only year to which they all agree. The alternation of motion is ever proportional to the motive force impressed, and is made in the direction of the right line in which that force is impressed. Pictures, propagated by motion along the fibers of the optic nerves in the brain, are the cause of vision. My powers are ordinary, only my application brings me success. To explain all nature is too difficult a task for any one man or even for any one age. If I am anything, which I highly doubt, I have made myself so by hard work. Plato is my friend, Aristotle is my friend, but my greatest friend is truth. To arrive at the simplest truth requires years of contemplation. An object that is at rest will tend to stay at rest. An object that is in motion will tend to stay in motion. Truth is ever to be found in the simplicity and not in the multiplicity and confusion of things. A body in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted on by an outside force. All knowledge and understanding of the universe was no more than playing with stones and shells on the seashore of the vast imponderable ocean of truth. The best way to understanding is a few good examples. What we know is a drop, what we don't know is an ocean. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Nature is pleased with simplicity. Men build too many walls and not enough bridges. Live your life as an exclamation rather than an explanation. I can calculate the motion of heavenly bodies, but not the madness of people. If I have ever made any valuable discoveries, it has been due more to patient attention than to any other talent. Gravity explains the motions of the planets, but it cannot explain who sets the planets in motion. Tact is the knack of making a point without making an enemy. What goes up must come down. My principal method for defeating error and heresy is by establishing the truth. One purpose is to fill a bushel with tares, but if I can fill it first with wheat, I may defy his attempts. We are to admit no more causes of natural things than such as are both true and sufficient to explain their appearances. All my discoveries have been made in answer to prayer. I consider my greatest accomplishment to be lifelong celibacy. This most beautiful system of the sun, planets, and comets could only proceed from the counsel and dominion of an intelligent and powerful being. The way to chastity is not to struggle directly with incontinent thoughts, but to avert the thoughts by some employment, or by reading or meditating on other things. In the absence of any other proof, the thumb alone would convince me of God's existence. Errors are not in the art, but in the artificers. If I had stayed for other people to make my tools and things for me, I had never made anything. I have a fundamental belief in the Bible as the Word of God, written by those who were inspired. I study the Bible daily. Poetry is a kind of ingenious nonsense. A man may imagine things that are false, but he can only understand things that are true, for if the things be false, the apprehension of them is not understanding. Physics, beware of metaphysics. Nature does nothing in vain when less will serve, for nature is pleased with simplicity, and affects not the pomp of superfluous causes. I do not know what I may appear to the world, but to myself I seem to have been only a boy playing on the seashore. We account the scriptures of God to be the most sublime philosophy. I keep the subject of my inquiry constantly before me and wait till the first dawning opens gradually, by little and little, into a full and clear light. Hypotheses non fingo, I frame no hypotheses. Whence arises all that order and beauty we see in the world? As a blind man has no idea of colors, so we have no idea of the manner by which the all-wise God perceives and understands all things. There are more sure marks of authenticity in the Bible than in any profane history. Philosophy is such an impertinently litigious lady that a man had as good be engaged in lawsuits as have to do with her. The wonderful arrangement and harmony of the cosmos would only originate in the plan of an almighty omniscient being. This is and remains my greatest comprehension. The latest authors, like the most ancient, strove to subordinate the phenomena of nature to the laws of mathematics. For the rays, to speak properly, have no color. In them, there is nothing else than a certain power and disposition to stir up a sensation of this color or that. If I have done the public any service, it is due to my patient thought. Yet one thing secures us whatever betide. The Scriptures assure us that the Lord will provide. No sciences are better attested than the religion of the Bible. The ignis fatuus is a vapor shining without heat. The changing of bodies into light, and light into bodies, is very conformable to the course of nature, which seems delighted with transmutations. Atheism is so senseless. When I look at the solar system, I see the Earth at the right distance from the Sun to receive the proper amounts of heat and light. This did not happen by chance.